Are they talking to themselves outside your door?
No, they're talking. That was my dad shouting at someone down the stairs.
You need to find a way to like soundproof your room, but
I'm gonna
the
when the floor.
opposite way and soundproof
Yeah,
every other room.
when the flooring's done, I'm getting the dining room and I'm making it into a small office space, which will be fun. And I'm gonna get some wee soundproofing for the thingy. That should be soon, which will be nice. I have LEDs and shit. Very
Yeah,
cool and hip.
fantastic. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Four Eyes and the Giant. My name is Jordi Steele, and I'm tall person. This is Cameron. How?
I wear glasses sometimes, specifically mainly for this show. I don't put these glasses on most of the time. So
And this week we decided we would celebrate Star Wars Week a week late. It's still Star Wars Week as of recording, but we have passed May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th, which should be Revenge of the 6th.
yeah, because Return of the Sixth doesn't make sense. So like
no, because May 5th is already Cinco de Mayo.
Exactly. You can't steal that from the Mexicans.
No.
No, it's not fair.
It's not fair. So we decided that we would take a look, and since the new animated show, The Bad Batch,
Hence the
premiered
title.
last week, hence the title, we decided to look at the future of Star Wars and what would be coming out afterward, much like we did with the Marvel show. After WandaVision finished? Yeah.
Yes.
Must have been. So sometime. Oh no, it wasn't in December.
During the
it was
series.
This year.
So yeah, that was in January. No, March.
I always forget it was this year. Mad.
WandaVision.
Yeah, we didn't have any. Like, I know we didn't have any Marvel stuff last year, but I always think it like started in December.
It was supposed to. They lied to us. They said December, early 2021, and then they moved it. Like
Yeah.
the cretins they are.
Cameron, do you want to know why I'm wearing sunglasses indoors?
Why are you wearing sunglasses indoors, Jordi?
Because much like you're outside, the future of Star Wars is bright. So obviously, like we said last Monday, was it Monday? Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Was
it?
Tuesday. So yes, Bad Batch premiered last week, and we will talk more about that on the weekly Watchlist segment. But yes, we are excited. It is a spin-off of the Clone Wars series, and it centers on the Bad Batch, which are a team of clones who were mutated, augmented to be better at specific things. Some of them are stronger. One of them stronger. One of them is a robot sort of man. The other is really good at shooting things. The other is really good at finding things because he can sense microwaves. After that, because that's what, 10 episodes?
Yeah, 10 episodes.
So
16, isn't it? I read that wrong. I could be completely wrong. We want to cut that. I think I read 16 somewhere, but I could be completely fucking wrong. I think that's a bit much, but hey.
Yeah. After that, we have Star Wars Visions, which is their sort of what if series, but not. I'm still quite confused on what it is. Is it a retelling of certain moments in animated form, or is it completely new original stories?
They've already done the animated retelling stuff on YouTube, so I'd imagine it's completely new stories in an anime style anthology, 10 episodes.
Right.
Different shit. I hope. Anyway, I think that'd be quite cool.
Star Wars anime. Then in December of 2021, we have the Book of Boba Fett, which is the spin-off of The Mandalorian, and it follows Boba Fett as, I guess, he has now seized the power of the Hutt cartel, or whatever it's called now. But I'm guessing that it's going to like have flashbacks a lot of flashbacks to
I would
Boba
assume
Fett's
so.
youth.
I would hope so. I would really hope so, because if we don't, missed opportunity. I would guess. Like, it seems like a great. I want to see I got the Sarlacc pit. I think that's a given at this point. I want to
Yeah.
see. I want to see him coping with the loss of Daddy. Some Asajj, not Asajj Ventress, who's the one that's in it. Aura Singh, is that it? I want to see some of the lady with the ponytail. She's in the Clone Wars. She helps him try and kill Mace Windu, and they fail
Oh,
epically.
no idea.
I think it's Aura Singh. So they team up. They team up for a bit, and he becomes a bounty hunter from quite a young age. So it'll be interesting. Would they
You
bring
think?
back the kid though? That is now not a kid, is an adult.
I think they should, because he does look. He's older, obviously,
Yeah.
and he does look like Tamura Morrison.
There you go then. It'd be silly not
So
to. And we'd
it
save
would make
ourselves
sense.
terrible Star Wars de-aging as well, because Star Wars is de-aging not as good as Marvel de-aging.
No, for some reason.
I know.
When they're powered by ILM, the
same
height
people that
of
do
visual
this.
effects.
It's the same people that do the Marvel de-aging. I
don't
think
know.
it's because look, Mark Hamill was supposedly there, and I think it was because they had to do a lot of work on Mark Hamill that it was, that was harder for them, which is
Do
fair
you
use.
think? Do you think we'll see Bosk?
I hope so. I
Do
would
you think we'll
assume so.
see Dengar?
Yes.
Do you think we'll see Boba Fett maybe in Bad Batch?
That's a difficult one. I think it's possibility. I think anything could happen. I'm curious to see who else they'll call back to, because obviously because it's animated, they can get literally anybody. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even really need them to be the same person. You don't even need them to be the same actor, voice actor, theoretically. It'd be nice if they were, but you don't technically need that. So, yeah, it could literally. I'm just excited. I'm excited by the Bad Batch because you can. This is an untapped. It's tapped, but it's not obviously abundantly clear how the morph of the Empire into the thingy.
Yeah.
So you could literally call into anybody and have Boba Fett show up, which would be lovely. Baby Boba.
Leaving 2021 now, we then have The Mandalorian Season 3 in early 2022. It continues the story of Din Djarin, now sans Grogu. Do you
Not
think
for
we'll
long.
see? Do you think he'll have to rescue Grogu? But why would he have to rescue Grogu from Luke?
I just went Grogu for hissy fit. But does that mean Luke has to come back? If Grogu comes back, Luke has to come back. Unless there's a major time jump. And then, but Luke has the Mando has to go and save Grogu from Kylo. If there's a big time jump.
Nah, that'd be too far a time jump, because that would mean we'd have to skip like Ahsoka and Rangers of the.
Well, we're getting an Ahsoka series, so it wouldn't make a difference, really.
Yeah. That is once again being developed by made by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Cool. Yeah.
Will George Lucas direct an episode?
Yeah. He's been on set so many times. I think he's gonna cave one of these days, because John loves him. You know, he also likes Baby Yoda. He likes Grogu. Likes my boy.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? Sorry.
So off-putting.
He's been there for how many episodes now? And he's in our podcasts, and he just having a great time.
We then have Andor sometime mid 2022. It's being directed by Tony Gilroy, who he wrote Rogue One.
Oh,
he had a hand in writing. It's set 5 years before the events of Rogue One. We're not too high on Rogue One, but it's Star Wars, so it'll be interesting.
We'll take it. We'll take anything with a theme tune, with a John Williams-esque theme tune at this point. Thank you very much.
Andor was pretty much the most interesting character out of everyone. because he was so like he was
Rebellion at
conflicted.
any
He was
cost. Yeah.
yeah, he was fulcrum. He was an agent. He was a spy. Alan Tudyk has said that he will not be in this. Is
Which
he
is weird
telling the
because he came
truth?
out at D23. They
Yeah,
introduced him at D23. So if they're trying to keep K2SO as a secret, why the fuck would they tell us he's in it at the beginning? Like, it just seems stupid. Um, he must be end of season 1, season 2. It must be like that. It must be like oh, I wonder where those droids come from, and then he saves them at the very end or something, and it's like keeps him
yeah,
around or something like that. Filming in Blackpool right now. Have you seen the set photos?
I have with the
Very,
shore troopers.
yeah.
That's why I'm like they brought back the. It's just Rogue One. They're just like let's do Rogue One, but
It looks like they've refilmed a public toilet to have like Arabesh stuff going around the
yes,
like
it
a
looks like
beach
a wee
toilet.
yeah, like a ticket station.
Yeah.
Then in late 2022 we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
This is what we came for, boys. This is it.
Ewan's
We've done
back,
it.
baby.
Hayden's
Ewan's
back,
back.
baby.
Hayden's back. Loads of. Do you think they will get Natalie Portman back? Because there will be flashbacks to the Clone Wars. So do
Well,
you think do you think we'll
yes, and
get Natalie Portman and Samuel L. Jackson?
I want a de-aged Rosario Dawson. I want a live action baby Ahsoka. I want like a Padawan
No,
Ahsoka moment.
yeah. What's her name? Laura Harrier.
That's it.
She's 31.
Doesn't look a
Madness.
day over 22. She looks
Yeah,
ages with me.
yeah. Um, she somebody did fan art of her as Ahsoka, and it's like, yeah, that fits. She looks good as
Mhm.
Ahsoka. So that'll be fun. Um, yeah, it's gonna be madness. It's directed by Deborah Chow
Of Mando.
Yeah, she did the episode of Mando. She's also done episodes of Mr. Robot, um, which was a show that I watched the first season of and then didn't continue.
Season
Um,
2 was good.
I've always meant to go back to it, but there's
Mhm.
there's far too much TV to watch now. Um, yeah, everyone's looking forward to it. I think it's probably the most hyped Star Wars
Most
project.
universally loved what project as well. Like people are
Yeah,
excited. Like it's only going to go downhill because people are just going to get pissy about any kind of decision they make about Obi-Wan at this point. If
yeah.
Obi-Wan is not some kind of god, there will be backlash, and I hope they're prepared for this. Like,
He's not. He's no. He's gonna be a hermit. He's gonna be Luke.
but that's the thing. If he's not going
That's
to
like
be some kind of bloody god, like chopping
no.
down fucking people, that's what people want. People want that. They want the hello there's. They want the. It's gonna. People are gonna be so pissy about this. It's gonna be
And they
unbelievable.
also want Maul, even though Maul appeared like at the very end. Maul re-met Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then he died, and that's all in
Exactly.
Rebels. So it's not going to happen. This is probably going to be like I think it's going to be early, like after Revenge of the Sith, probably,
Yeah, I think maybe Andor could set stuff up. Maybe if it's like the
possibly.
same kind of. I don't know how much they're going to go for interconnected stories. I know the stuff we'll talk about a bit later on in the in development projects are going to be very much tie-in stuff because we never really talked about crossover between Mando and Boba. But
Yeah.
you know, what I
Do
mean, it's
you
it's one of
think?
those.
Do you think that Ian McDermott will also come back,
Yeah,
and
100%. That man will come.
Obi Wan will fight the Emperor, and the Emperor will go blah, and then all of Obi Wan's hair will go white,
Maybe not as thingy as that, but he could definitely get a bit wrinkly. Just do
just
like
to
what happened to Sam Jackson and just
just
get a bit wrinkly.
yeah, just to explain how in 10 years he went from Ewan McGregor to Allen Guinness.
Maybe the desert just ages him poorly. You know, some people are just completely dried
You
out
gotta
by
have dry
skin.
skin, yeah, I guess.
You
Not
know,
a lot of moisture,
I
hence the
mean, he's
moisture
not got
farms.
the creams he had in Coruscant. Coruscant's a very rich, vibrant city planet. He'd have moisturizing creams. He'll have had showers. That man's gonna smell bad. That man, he's
Yeah,
not gonna be prepared for it.
no. We then have in December 20. 2nd, 2023, which is so far away, but it's the next confirmed date. The next film, we're finally getting another film for Star Wars, and it's Rogue Squadron, and it's directed by Patty Jenkins, and we know nothing about it.
My hype kind of died for it when I saw bloody 1984, but I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman. So it could be hit or miss. It really could be.
Yeah,
She's
she
very
really
big
likes
on fight.
planes.
Yeah, she really likes planes. I was gonna say her dad was in the fight, was in the Air Force or something.
I think so.
I think just watched a lot of Top Gun before it. I think she'll be absolutely sorted for it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a film. We don't know when it's set. We don't know if it's set
The name
before the
suggests
prequels,
original
after the
trilogy, but
prequels,
I
after
would imagine
original.
between 6 and 7 seems to be the best place. But I don't know.
Yeah.
If you go anywhere in the sequel trilogy, you're almost bound to bump into Poe Dameron if you're doing space fight stuff, because he seems to be fucking everywhere with space flight. The entirety of the animated series Star Wars Resistance is based on space stuff, and they have to get Oscar Isaacs back to come and voice Poe Dameron. So I think you're talking original trilogy here, but what side of the original trilogy, I don't know.
Yeah. Then we have The Acolyte, which is a series being run by Leslie Headland, who did Russian Doll.
No.
It is the first live action representation of the High Republic that we're going to get.
That's very exciting. I'm looking forward to reading the next layer of books because I need to. Now that I've got time, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna have to read the books that didn't get audiobooks in the UK.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. I'm looking forward to it. And I've got the comics to read. I've got piled up of comics there. I'm loving it. So I like that world. What we read. What was it? What was the one called? Was it called? What was it called? Just the first High
Light of the
Republic we read.
Jedi.
Light of the Jedi. That was great. Even though I
Yeah.
couldn't remember the name, but that was a great book, and it had a great world. And I like the fact that this is an untapped area of Star Wars visually, really, apart from the comics and stuff, and some artwork. I feel like this could be really interesting. I wonder how much crossover it'll have with the books, so how much knowledge you'll need to have going in. I'd imagine very little.
It's set. What
from
is
a
it?
few characters.
For anyone not in the know, the High Republic is the era of Star Wars before the prequels, before the prequels. The High Republic, what is it? Is set like thousands of years, but then this is only going to be like 500 years or 100 years.
I think it's at the very end, so the crossover potential is actually quite limited now that I think about it with the books because it is so far removed time wise from the books, unless some of these Jedi live to be ancient. I'd imagine we get more Yoda.
Yeah. But yeah, the potential to get like young Sheev Palpatine and young Mace Windu and young
hundreds of years, maybe not.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
You could get a young Qui-Gon, young Dooku. You could probably get whoever his mate was it Darth Sifo-Dyas and stuff like that. There's a great book. There's a great audio book, audio play and script called Dooku Jedi Lost, which is technically set in the High Republic.
Right.
Because it's set before Phantom Menace, and it is technically set in the High Republic era. Some of it, at least, which is quite a good listen. It's only like 3 hours long or something, and it follows his entire Jedi Padawan life, a life on the planet where he was a count, and then Jedi stuff, and then all the shit with turning to the dark side.
Yeah.
So
we then have Ahsoka and Rangers of the New Republic, a series of spin-offs from The Mandalorian, which will also be the show run by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. One obviously will follow Ahsoka and is expected to have loads of live action appearances of characters from Rebels. Whereas Rangers of the New Republic was probably going to follow Gina Carano
until she committed PR suicide.
Yeah.
And decided I don't want to be in a Star Wars anymore. I like misinformation a bit too much.
I like comparing people not liking Republicans to the Holocaust.
Yeah.
she did that.
Not a vibe, really, is it?
A
Not
celeb,
the
yeah, a
vibe.
person.
No,
She's
not
an
really
idiot.
the vibe to go for. So
Yeah,
fair dues on Disney for binning her off. But yeah, I wonder what will happen to that now if that just gets shoved off and we'll never see it.
yeah.
If we get, because it's just Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni again,
Hmm.
so it doesn't need to happen. But I mean, I was one of the people vocal about it at the time. Bill Burr stepping in as a kind of like
Yes.
redemption,
Yeah, he was great
the
in
same
Mandalorian.
semi redemption arc sort of thing happening
Hmm.
with her. So it could happen with Bill instead.
Yeah, because I'm guessing the Rangers of the New Republic. It seems sort of like space, like Rogue Squadron-y, like sort of like
Yeah,
people that go around. But the one of the only people that we've seen doing this in the Mandalorian era is Dave Filoni. So I
yeah,
don't think Dave Filoni will star in the show. Um, he probably will like cameo since he's
yeah,
there already.
yeah.
But yeah, chances of that show still happening are in question. We
I
then
hope it
have
does. I
yeah.
hope it does. I hope it happens.
We also have a live action Lando series. Now this is being directed by Justin Simeon. Um, I hope that Donald Glover comes back. This could be the sequel to Solo. Um, but yeah,
It's a bit
sequel
wild they had
series.
announced it before Donald was signed on. Do you not think so? They're gonna
Yeah,
recast? Like,
who knows? Maybe it's going to be younger
yeah,
Lando.
yeah,
Maybe it's Billy D. Williams
that would be
and
great.
what's the woman's girl's name?
Oh, that one that was
Uh,
implied to be bloody, yeah,
and he's like, "Let's go find your family," but he didn't
I
sound
am your
anything
family.
like that.
Yeah.
"Hun, baby, let's go find your family." Yeah. So that'll be interesting. By the looks of the logo that they revealed, it's probably going to be very funky and stylistic and
If it is Donald Glover, I hope he chooses an accent this time.
yeah, stick on a voice. Stick to a voice,
just
Donald.
just commit to one of them this time if you could, instead of switching between Donald Glover and Billy D. Williams and just miss between shots. Sometimes on one shot it'll be Billy D. Williams, another shot he's back to being Donald
Yeah,
Glover again. You couldn't
that was
decide.
yeah. It probably was due to like
The
reshoots,
fact, yeah,
but
the reshoots.
the performance should just be a Billy D. Williams impression,
Mm-hmm.
or not, or just take Alden Ehrenreich's cue and not do anything close to Han Solo.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah,
I think he was
you're
doing
a
his own
younger
thing.
version. Yeah,
Exactly. I think Solo's decent. I actually kind of prefer Solo to Rogue One. Um,
yes.
yeah. I'm glad, I'm glad you agree.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I would kill my firstborn child to see a sequel. I kid. But I would probably probably do something extreme for a sequel at this point. Because I lost my shit. You weren't there, which is really unfortunate we never got to see it together. Because I lost my shit at the mall reveal.
Yeah.
In Solo, I thought that was so cool. I thought that was the coolest thing. 'Cause I hadn't seen Rebels or Clone Wars yet, so I had no fucking clue he was alive. I had no clue,
All right.
just straight up no clue he was alive. So I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck? That's bloody Darth Maul. What's he doing there?" So yeah,
Yeah. We then have a Droid Story, which is an animated television show, film, even. Um, it's going to be it's basically going to be a wee film about C3PO and R2D2 accompanying a new hero that will probably see a live action in 10 years or so.
animated television film is kind of stupid, like you've said, but I think it just because it implies that all the other films of Disney Plus aren't films,
Films.
and this is.
Yeah.
But I think this just means it's a very low budget film on Disney
Right.
Plus. Do you know? I think that's all it
Yes.
means. I think no one
It's
cares.
animated, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a stop motion animation film since they're exploring all these new sort of venues of storytelling. I'd like to
Take
see.
I up you, do that, but do one set on a desert planet and make it stop motion monsters and just do Jason and the Argonauts. But with
Ah,
um but in Star Wars.
some
And
Ray
all the monsters in
Harryhausen.
stop motion. Yep. Sorted.
Uh, yeah, we then finally have. Oh, this actually has been confirmed. Taika Waititi film. On May 4th, it was officially announced that Taika Waititi, who directed the first season finale of The Mandalorian, will direct a Star Wars film from the screenplay he is co-writing with Christy Wilson Cairns, who wrote
17
1917.
of Scotland, of the Glasgow, apparently, I believe. She's from Woo, get the saltires out, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exciting. He's gonna bring his wee comical spin to Star Wars.
yeah. It's probably going to be like Star Wars with the Ragnarok aesthetic, probably.
I would see that. I would watch that.
Yeah, another one of these projects that explores a yet unexplored region of space of the
How
galaxy.
exciting!
We then have the Kevin Feige film, which wasn't confirmed at the big uh, meeting that they had on September 25th, 2019. It was announced that Marvel Cinematic Universe producer Kevin Feige was developing a Star Wars film with Kathleen Kennedy, with Michael Waldron set to write the screenplay. And I didn't write what he wrote before.
It was it's not it wasn't confirmed that the Disney Express date, but it was he still talks about it like it's happening. In recent
Yeah,
interviews, Kevin Feige talks about it like it's happening. Like he's spoken about it doing WandaVision press, I think. So
yeah. And then on February 21st, 2020, Variety reported that a Star Wars film from Slight director J.D. Dillard and Luke Cage writer Matt Owens was in early stages of development. Go back to the Kevin Feige one. He has said that he has talked to an actress about a role, and everyone thinks it's Brie Larson.
what did she say?
She was as soon as he said that, she started tweeting and posting stuff about wanting to be in Star Wars, and she posted pictures in a robe with a lightsaber and stuff. We then have the Rian Johnson trilogy. It's still alive. It's still coming.
People told us it was dead. It's not, baby. It's
not.
alive. He's coming. He's gonna
The
get
dead
us.
speaks. Like
Once
Palpatine,
he's filmed all six
he's back.
Knives Out. Once he's filmed all 6 Knives Out films, he's coming for you. He's gonna bring Daniel Craig along with him. I think he's gonna just work with Daniel Craig for the rest of his life. I want to see a 007 Jedi at this point. But yeah, that's exciting. The Last Jedi, one of your favorites, is probably my favorite Star Wars movie. So
yeah.
And that's not just because I'm a contrarian bastard. I enjoy The Last Jedi.
It's a good film. There's no reason to not like it. Yeah. That's what we have so far. That's the future of Star Wars. That's what's coming after the Bad Batch. Welcome everyone to the weekly watch list segment. This is a segment where we talk about films that we saw last week and the films that are coming out next week. Cameron, what did you watch this week?
I watched this week. I watched. And we're going to talk about the thing we've both not seen it yet, but I don't know if you've seen this in the past. I watched last night So I Married an Axe Murderer, which is a Mike Myers film from the 90s. It is very, very strange.
Right.
It's about a man who is has commitment issues and that. And it's very I couldn't tell for the longest time if it was trying to be a parody of a rom-com or if it is just a rom-com that's it doesn't. Sometimes it feels self-aware, sometimes it doesn't. But he has commitment issues and stuff. He's got over-the-top Scottish parents because Mike Myers loves a Scottish accent. So Mike Myers plays his own dad, and then there's a Scottish mum, and the mum's like, "Oh, look at this! There's a woman who's been killing all of her husbands, all over the country." And then he meets, a girl who in a butcher shop when he goes to buy haggis.
Right.
Fuck knows. And they fall in love. And then he slowly realizes that she might be the murderer that's killed all the husbands and that. And then it's just a lot of oh shit, is she not, and a lot of paranoia and stuff. But it's a fun time because it's Mike Myers being funny. It's not hilarious. It's also really cheap as well.
Surely, if they knew that a woman was going around killing them, they'd know who the woman was. If they're like, "Oh, it's this wife," they've been
Well,
married to the same
it's
woman.
it's not believed because the man and the woman and the husband both disappear, but it's not explicitly. I don't understand. Like the newspaper's like the Sun, so no one really believes it. So it's like the
Uh,
Sun that like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, look at us, we've made like this like connection of all these murders and stuff, and it ends up being true. So but it's like, oh, it's it's funny. It's also really cheap. They only get to use one song, and they use the same song over and over and over again
oh,
because it's cheap. I can't remember what the song's called now, but you'd recognize it if you heard it. But it's one of those like randomly iconic rom com songs set in San Francisco and stuff. So you got lots of lovely uh, views of the city. That's kind of what I watched this week because I've only just really been free and I've not really watched
mhm.
anything else other than Fast Five and Furious Six, for obvious reasons.
There She Goes by Boo Radley's.
That's it. There she goes. Yeah. So
There
that's the only
she
song they play
goes.
over and over
Oh my
again.
god. Yikes.
So it's the opening song. It's like the middle way song. It's like the montage of romantic moment songs. It's just every single song in the film.
Lovely. So this week I finally finished the Star Wars Clone Wars.
Oh right.
Um, pardon me. I watched 4, 5, and 6 in like a couple days because I
Yeah.
skipped all the unimportant episodes. And the final arc of Star Wars, the Clone Wars, is just
It's
fantastic.
some of the best Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Easily some of the best
It
Star Wars
steps
content.
up so much. The final 3 episodes are some of the greatest TV episodes of all time.
Wow.
I would say. But the big releases this week were Jupiter's Legacy, which came out yesterday as of recording on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It is an adaptation of the Mark Millar comic, which is about the new generation of superheroes and how they are they have to sort of live up to their parents. Um, so one of the parents is Josh Duhamel. Duhamel? How do you pronounce his name?
Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel, who plays the Utopian, who's basically the Superman analog. Um, and then he's got his children who also have superpowers. His son is trying to be the next Utopian and try and be great, but there is an accident in the film that causes internal strife within the family. And there's also the Utopian's daughter who doesn't want to be a superhero, has distanced herself from the family, and is basically a sort of fashion model, but she is famous because she is the daughter of the Utopian. So everyone knows who these people are. Meanwhile, it's trying to tell the story of how the Utopian became the Utopian, and all these superheroes became the superheroes that they are. And it's boring.
It
It's
did look. I don't. Apart from the Kingsman, anything Mark Miller does, I'm just like,
yeah,
yeah.
Kick Ass
You
is
know,
good. The first one,
Kick Ass is the first one's good. The second one, but it's stuff. Kick Ass and that are projects that Mark Miller sort of like, especially Kingsman, are projects Mark didn't really have his hands on. Anything
right?
else I've sort of tried to watch or read from Mark Miller has been very mm,
Yeah, yeah, but this show is the I read an interview about the show where Mark was like, "It's a perfect." People would say, "Oh, don't you think there's too many superhero projects going on right now? Do you think Jupiter's Legacy will be lost in the flush?" Um, and he was like, "No, because it's a perfect time because everyone's all hyped for superheroes." Um, but the fact that they've released this after like One Division and Falcon and Winter Soldier, it
yeah,
really shows how low the quality is because it's very much like halfway between trying to be like CW and Marvel. And it
yeah.
just doesn't really look good all the time. And the
I think
acting
Marvel's
and
gonna
writing,
spoil us. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry, I interrupted you. Yeah,
no, but yeah, the writing and acting is a bit drab sometimes. and is a bit like, come on, try be like, they're not the best actors, but like act better.
You said it swayed between CW and Netflix. It sort of didn't feel very high budget, especially from a Netflix show. It wasn't. It just didn't. And I
And
think
yeah,
Marvel
it's
spoiled us.
weird. So at some points, the fight scenes look sort of like YouTube fan films. Um, and yeah, like high budget YouTube fan films, but YouTube fan films nonetheless. It's trying to be sort of like I know it's based on a comic, but it's trying to be live action Invincible. Um, it's just not as good. It's not as good as Invincible. It's not as good as The Boys, and it's not as good, not nearly as good as any of the Marvel content.
Yeah.
What do you think it's rated on Rotten Tomatoes currently?
From your, I would go maybe 65.
It's rated 36% on Rotten
Holy
Tomatoes.
shit! I thought people would have lapped it up. That seems like this kind of stuff that people would have lapped up, but no. Oh my god.
No, that is, to be fair, the critics. I will quickly check the like the audience score. So the critics score is 36%. The audience score is 62%.
Okay, that sounds
But
about right.
it's yeah. I will continue watching it. I'm 4 episodes deep. So and there's only 8 episodes.
Half hour
So
episodes, hour episodes.
varying from half hour to 50 minutes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. I thought
That's
I
not
was going to be able to binge it in a day to get the whole series done, but I couldn't because loads of things came up yesterday. It could get better. Who knows? But I agree with the critics, and the critics agree with
yeah.
me. Then now let's talk about the big boy. Let's talk about Star Wars: The Bad Batch. It's Star Wars. We love it.
Yeah.
What can I say?
You
It's
can
really
say
good.
that it's probably one of the best. It's like a step up. It's like Clone Wars season 7. In
Yeah.
terms of quality, animation quality at least.
Mm-hmm.
I love the character. I think the first episode is really well written, well paced for a 70-minute
Mm-hmm.
long TV film, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Um, action's really good. Setting up the characters to go off in different places, expanding on them from the 4 episode arc we saw previously, and taking them into new directions is really interesting. The new character that's a child isn't annoying, which is a plus and a bonus because
Omega.
sometimes they can be annoying. Omega, yes. I
Hi
don't know
guys,
why
I'm
she has a
Omega.
yeah. Don't know why she's got that kind of accent. What are you gonna do? Um, are we doing spoilers or are we not gonna do spoilers?
Let's try not to do spoilers. Except,
Okay.
yeah, it's quite easy not to do spoilers. Basically, the show is set during the emergence of the empire. It we could say it begins with Order 66.
Yeah.
So it's from that moment onwards. So it's all running concurrently to uh, basically the final arc of Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith. Um, we do see the first Galactic Empire speech from Emperor Palpatine. It's really good. And you said it's like Clone Wars, Season 7, like quality. It's a step
yeah.
up from that as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there's so much design on it. There's obviously it's Star Wars with a budget, and it's lovely.
That's what I liked the most about season 7 is like if you've watched it recently, so you'll know when you go from 6 and then start of season 7, you're like fucking
Mhm.
hell, what the hell happened here? This is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy good looking. So yeah, I do. We got 2 episodes. I didn't
Mhm.
think 2 was as strong as 1. I thought
No,
it kind of suffered from episode 2 syndrome, where it felt like filler in a way, but it had some really cool
yeah,
cameos and stuff. That was nice. You were quite pleased at watching those many isolated episodes of Clone Wars sort of paid off in a way, which was nice.
yeah. It
Um,
sort of it shows that this show is basically going. watch all the episodes because who knows what will happen. This
Jar
episode
Jar
was
Binks' love
basically,
interest comes back.
yeah. um, what if Jar Jar Binks comes back? What if Jar Jar Binks is in the Kenobi series?
Please, please.
Um, yeah, it's fantastic. If you liked the Clone Wars, if you haven't watched the Clone Wars, watch series 4, 5, like 4 episodes of 6, and then 7, and it's so good. There are lists on the internet saying what episodes to watch. Um,
I did
it's
chronological. I
brilliant.
did every episode, but I did chronological order. That's how I did it. And some of them were a bit shit. I did actually end up skipping mainly the droid ones. I can't stand C-3PO.
Yeah, I skip any
Oh.
episodes featuring the droids or Padme because they're not that interesting. Um, yeah, what do you think
Yeah,
it got on Rotten Tomatoes?
89.
93%.
Fair enough. Happy with that.
Certified fresh. It's yeah.
Hmm.
I can't wait for it. Every Friday, Force Fridays. Also, I should say this has led to Loki being moved to Wednesdays.
Wednesdays. Yeah, which is nice. It means I can watch Loki and not have to worry about getting it. Like, I say I'm too tired on a Wednesday night, I can watch on a Thursday instead. You know, it's one of those. It's a nice. I
Yeah,
don't have to rush it out on the day it comes out anymore for this podcast. It's
no,
nice. It feels nice.
it's probably due to the fact that America is leading so heavily into the Force Fridays, uh, uh, like branding. They could have had Marvel Mondays.
Not a big enough gap, I'd imagine.
Yeah. How ironic that Loki is on Odin's Day because Wednesdays.
Is that what it is?
Fuck off. Yes. Next week, Cameron is going to the toilet, so I'm here to do it by myself. Next Wednesday on May 12th, we have Oxygen. It's about a woman who wakes up basically in a pod, like a cryogenic freezing pod, and there's flashbacks, but then we don't know how she got in this pod or where she is, and she also doesn't have long to live because she doesn't have a lot of oxygen, which is what is the film. The film's called Oxygen. On Thursday next week, on May 13th, we have the final season of Castlevania coming out. This is the 4th season of the anime based on the video game. I'm a big fan of it. Cameron's probably not a big fan of it because it's anime. I've found it really good. It's really interesting, very violent, and great acting from the likes of Richard Armitage and James Callis. It's a very good show. If you were into anime, I know a lot of people haven't liked the Netflix original anime, but I've been fine with it so far. On Friday, May 14th, we got the Underground Railroad, which is a series on Amazon directed by Barry Jenkins, who's done Moonlight. He's done If Beale Street Could Talk. He's gonna do Lion King 2. What a strange
Or
CV that man has.
yeah, it's gonna be. Oh,
Yeah,
people get annoyed
it
at it
is.
for liking too, but anyway.
It is based on the novel of the same name by Colson Whitehead, which is about a young woman named Kara makes an amazing discovery during her attempt to break free from slavery in the Deep South. It is a fictionalized version of um, the time of slavery in America. Um, I believe the Underground Railroad, the name sort of it is a reference to this idea that there was a path for slaves who have escaped to go, which was basically like safe houses, people who would keep them safe so that they could be free. But in the book, it's an actual railroad that they follow.
Oh,
I don't know much about it, but I'm interested in it, and I will be
interested. Yeah.
checking it out. Also on May 14th, we have The Woman in the Window, which is the Amy Adams film. Yes,
Yes, originally scheduled for
yes.
cinemas, and then it got bought by Netflix, I believe, in the end. I think it was a Searchlight film, actually.
Yeah, it's a film about a woman with agoraphobia who basically it's like Rear Window. She witnesses a murder, and then people are like, "There was no murder. Are you crazy?" Um, and yeah, it's a thriller,
Rules. Amy
thrills,
Adams is very good. I
skills.
like her.
Yeah. Also,
She's
May
in.
14th.
She's in Ireland right now. Sorry, she's in Ireland right now, filming Disenchanted, and that makes me one of the only Enchanted fans on the planet very happy.
Hmm. Also, May 14th, we have the next season of Love, Death, and Robots, which was an analogy series that came out last year, and it was yeah, an analogy
It's an analogy.
anthology,
It's an analogy of what?
anthology series. It's an anthology series of different kinds of animation. In every episode, there's a different animation because it's made by different people. It's basically like sort of Black Mirror and Twilight Zoney, in that
Yeah.
it's just like short films about technology, and they're all very good. And I
My
would,
favorite one was the one where Hitler died over and over and over again. Um, like where they had ran through different scenarios in which he could have died, and it was very funny.
I don't remember that one.
That was you go and look up. I might not be. I know it was Hitler. I'm pretty sure certain it was Hitler, and he just died over and over and over again, and it was very amusing.
Yeah. The only ones I really remember is like the one that was directed by the man who had done the art production for Spider Verse.
All right.
So it was all very weird and fun. But yeah, that's what's coming up next week. As far as we know, we've probably forgotten some things. Um,
You can shout at us in the comments below if you'd like to tell us what we've missed.
yes,
But
tell us in the comments below what Star Wars project you're most looking forward to. You can also tweet us at Four Eyes Giant or at Ohio Films. You can tweet me at Real Jordi Steele. Cameron, where can they find you?
you can find me at CamsOG on Twitter. I also do another podcast called 35 Minute Movies, a Vin Diesel podcast, which I do with Oasis, our fan. Me and him are very, very passionate about Vin Diesel, and we're going and ranking, reviewing every single Vin Diesel movie under the sun, which is great fun times, and you should listen to it. And I also, now that I'm free of university, twitch.tv/camzo underscore OG, I've got some plans. I want to play some Harry Potter games because I feel like that's an untapped audience for some reason. And yeah, I'm mainly doing that for Maria. So Maria, you better fucking watch me play the Harry Potter games. As you told. Yeah. So that'll be that. At Camzo underscore OG.
Fantastic.
That's me.
Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and goodbye.
Bye.